Section 11 of Ancient Civilizations of Mexico and Central America by Herbert J. Spinden. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Read by Mario Pineda. A cross-section of New World History. This survey of ancient history in Mexico and Central America discloses a condition which doubtless holds true of the archaeological record in other parts of the world. The earliest sedentary culture was by far the most homogeneous and widespread. This means it modified slowly and lasted for ages. At the same time, owing to the connection of the archaic complex with agriculture, the initial spread might have been rapid. The plants domesticated by the American Indians were developed far beyond the wild types, much farther indeed than the domestic plants of the Old World. This development must have extended over many centuries. The first horizon of agriculture was based on plants of an arid highland environment. The second horizon of agriculture was based on these same plants after they had been slowly modified to fit a humid lowland environment, as well as on certain new plants of humid lowland origin. The Maya civilization was specialized to the wet lowlands of the tropic zone, and while the influence exerted by this dominant culture of the New World was felt over a great area, the exact characters were not reproduced elsewhere. Trade relations can be traced from Yucatan to Colombia on the one hand, and on the other to New Mexico. The cycle of the Mayan civilization was comparatively short, and the cycles of the resultant civilizations were even shorter. All New World history must be referred ultimately to the horizons of culture described above, with the standard chronology of the Mayas as the only definite scale. In the cross-section of New World history presented herewith, the horizontal measures represent space and the vertical measures represent time. The line ABCD begins at Victoria Island and ends at Cape Horn, cutting across the culture areas named on the diagram. Over a large part of this cross-section, the horizon of recorded history is in fact the time of the first European exploration, but in Colombia and Peru there are well-defined traditions giving lists of kings, while in Central America there is exact chronology going back 2,000 years before the coming of the white man. Below this and within it there are archaeological records of culture sequence, which in some regions, such as the Pueblo area, have been nicely classified. On the basis of trade relations and diffused ideas in material and aesthetic arts, the marginal chronology can be tied in with that of the central standard section of history. Of course, all dates earlier than the first recorded ones are theoretical. The beginning of agriculture in America is put at 4000 BC. It may be earlier, but can hardly be much later. In the Pueblo or Southwest area, a single type of flint corn, doubtless introduced from the south, appears on the first agricultural level. Contacts with Mexico and Central America are inferable during Basket Maker 2 and 3, the latter stratum having female fetishes roughly comparable with those of the archaic horizon of Mexico. Later southwest evolution is autochthonous until the end of Pueblo 3, when the concepts of the plumed serpent, the eagle man, four-direction symbolism, etc., come from Mexico with Toltec trade. Culture sequence in the southwest is about as follows. Pueblo 5, modern, 1692 to present time. Pueblo 4b, early historic, 1538 to 1692. Pueblo 4a, protohistoric, 1200 to 1538. Pueblo 3b, Toltec trade, 1000 to 1200. Pueblo 3a, urban developments. Pueblo 2, small house. Pueblo 1, proto-pueblo. Basket Maker 3, first pottery. Basket Maker 2, first agriculture. Basket Maker 1, nomadic. In Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru, culture successions are now being worked out. The best criterion of age is found in metals which enter Central America from South America after the fall of the first Mayan Empire, that is, after 630 AD. The technology of metal working is continuous from southern Colombia to central Mexico. Negative painting with walks has a wider and perhaps earlier distribution, reaching Ecuador and Peru in association with tripod pottery, which is otherwise rare in the Andean region. Various motifs of design link the two continents, especially on the Toltec-Chorotegan level. Between 1000 and 1200 AD, civilization seems to have been generally stabilized, but this halcyon age was followed by disorganization and far-reaching migrations. The pre-Spanish horizons of southern Peru are tentatively arranged as follows by A. L. Kroeber, the apparently earlier material of Ancon being omitted for lack of the cross ties. 3. Inca. 2c. Late Ica. 2b. Middle Ica. 2a. Epigonal. 1b. Late Nazca. 1a. Early Nazca. The early Nazca civilization was far from primitive, being characterized by pyramids, fine textiles, and some metal. Mayan strains have been recognized in Chavin and Riquay in Peru and various sites in Ecuador. The dynamic forces in the history of man in the New World have a tremendous bearing upon the present and future state of the world. The debt which we owe to the ancient civilizations of Mexico and Central America becomes apparent when we list the more important agricultural plants, fibers, gums, dyes, etc., which were taken over by Europeans from the American Indians. Food plants cultivated by American Indians: maize, potatoes, sweet potatoes, tomatoes, pumpkins, squashes, lima beans, kidney beans, peppers, cacao, pineapples, nispero, Barbados cherry, strawberries, persimmons, papaws, guava, aracacha, peanuts, oca, cashew nut, jacote, star apples, Paraguay tea, alligator pear, chirimoya, soursop, sweet soap, custard apple, cassava. Important economic contributions of American Indians: fibers, cotton, henequen, pita; medicines, tobacco, cinchona, quinine; cascara sagrada, cocaine, ipecac, sarsaparilla; domesticated animals: alpaca, llama, guinea pig, dog, perhaps old world, Muscovy duck, turkey; gums, rubber, copal, Peruvian balsam, chicle; dyes, anil, indigo, cochineal, logwood, fustic. End of section 11. End of Ancient Civilizations of Mexico and Central America by Herbert J. Spinden.